It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top players in the class of 2022, Justice Williams. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Well, let's just get right into this. You're at Montverde now. Isn't quite the year you want in terms of spring and summer, but you're out there now. About to play a big time season. Take us through your thoughts and how you like Montverde so far.
I like it. I mean, I'm able to compete every day against some of the best players in our class. So I mean, what else could you ask for?
Now we go back a couple of months ago. You were always still at Roman Catholic. You finished up your season there. Decided to take the transfer to Montverde. Why'd you decide that?
I feel like just in terms like academically and athletically, I feel like it was a big step and just the right path in like in going to the next step.
You weren't the only guy from Roman Catholic to go with you. You also had your good friend Jalen going out there as well. What was that like, and how much of an impact did him moving out there having your decision?
I feel like we just in terms of the decision, we both kind of put like our own things in just our parents and how would it help us like just like get to the next level. But I feel like just me and him having that connection, it made it even easier for me and him as well to come down here. So
There will be big shoes to fill. Last year's team, some people call maybe the greatest team in high school history, undefeated. Most likely would have won Geico last year. A lot of these guys are now gone. You have a few returners like Derek, like Langston. But how do you guys plan to go out there and be able to fill the shoes of all the guys from last year?
well, we practice hard every day. So I mean, it's pretty much up to us and Coach Boyle to just go out there and play our hardest, and everything else will just take place.
How about chemistry, man? I know it might be tough. All you guys are coming from situations where you guys are the dominant scorers, the lead guys. You go now, we have 10 high major players, 10 of the best players in the country. How do you work that out chemistry wise?
Coach does a great job of just keeping everybody's egos down. I mean, we all hang with each other off the court, so I mean that just transfers over onto the court. So we practice every day hard. We compete, and we start to learn each other's tendencies and everything. So I mean, when it's time to play in the games, we'll be pretty tight.
Now, besides guys like Jalen that you already knew before this, who are some of the new guys you really started to get close to?
I pretty much knew everybody, or just talked to or seen everybody, just in terms of being around in certain camps and everything. So it wasn't any new faces for me.
Who would you say are some of the guys that you really like going up against at practice?
Um, Pretty much like all the guards, just like Langston, Ryan Nemhard, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Tyreek, just all the guards pretty much.
So you guys are doing 5-on-5, 2-on-2, 3-on-3 games. What's the competition like? What are those environments like when you have this much talent on a court?
Definitely gets intense. I mean, it's pretty much like a game every day. You get at it. I mean, sometimes blood is shed. I mean, sometimes some harsh words are said, but I mean that's what you need sometimes, because when it's time to play in a game, we're gonna be all tight and together. So that's what it takes.
You haven't in many Team USA mini camps before. I'm sure there's kind of a lot like that. I mean, what's some of the similarities between USA camps and what you're dealing with right now at Montverde?
Definitely the competition. I mean, everybody in every position is up to par, so you got to bring it every day, or else it's gonna show.
So you're going to be playing national schedule. You're going to play all across the country now, traveling nonstop. How do you plan to adjust to that?
I feel like I'll adjust to it well. I mean, it's gonna take some like change, but I feel like I'll adjust to it well.
And you look down this roster. I mean, all these guys are players that's going to be playing at the next level. Is there anyone you could possibly see yourself want to team up with at the college level?
No, I haven't really even thought that deep into it.
Gotcha. And so now, as you prepare for the season, you have a couple more weeks, months until you get out there. What's some stuff you really want to improve on and work on so that you know you're ready to go for the year?
I feel like I definitely took some steps in on my defensive side of the game. I just enabled to like talk, and even just the technique that I learned being with Montverde and Coach Boyle.
We already discussed how it's going to be maybe a little more limited role than last year was. But overall, what's your biggest goal as your player and as a team for the year?
Definitely. I mean, in terms of a team goal, obviously to get the Geico National Championship, but individually, I mean, just I came down here to grow as a player and as a person. So as long as I'm able to come down here and just grow as a leader on the court and off the court, that'd definitely be good for me.
COVID stopped a lot of guys from transferring around this year, but two places that are loaded are you guys as well as IMG once again. And you haven't experienced that quite yet, but how excited to get that rivalry game in and play against IMG?
It's definitely gonna be a good one. I mean, it's two good teams with competitors. So, I mean, we'll just have to see.
You might be having a position change. Talk about that a little bit.
I'm definitely. I feel like I was definitely always considered a point guard. I mean, my role with my team kind of looked like I was playing the shooting guard because my role was to score more. I had to score more just in terms of my team, but I've always had that playmaking ability. But I just had to bump my scoring up and my shot attempts up. So, I mean, it made it look like I was playing the shooting guard, but I'm definitely most comfortable at playing point guard.
So is that what we can kind of expect for you this upcoming season then?
Yeah, pretty much going back and forth point guard and shooting guard. It's like a combo, pretty much.
And that is something that we see. I mean, I think 10 years ago, the point guard and shooting guard were very different. You couldn't really intermix those two. But nowadays, these point guards out there scoring, even leading scorers on the team, guy like Damian Lillard, Steph Curry. Seeing this
Right.
new era of basketball, we have a more scoring dominant point guard. What's like being part of that?
It's definitely great because you have to have that balance. I mean, when it's time to get your teammates involved and everything, you can do that, but you also have to be able to score, just in terms of like just keeping the defense, just keeping them open and just finding out if you can how to attack the game, pretty much.
In terms of backcourt, is there a guy you specifically have played with before, or just maybe a type of player that you'd say plays best with you?
I definitely me and Jalen, I feel like our connection has grown because just pretty like our relationship off the court, it just helps on the court as well.
Let's get into the recruiting process now. You have offers all over the country, interest from a lot of the schools as well. But at this point in time, who is showing the most interest? Who are you talking to the most?
I mean, I definitely feel like all the schools that are recruiting me are definitely like reaching out and kind of like talking to me and just assuring on what role I would kind of have. Pretty much, like I pretty much think all of them are like around the same amount.
It's been a couple of months now of you being able to talk to coaches, them calling you. What's it been like and how have you adjusted to this new kind of recruiting process?
I mean, it's definitely a blessing because I mean, just like with everything going on right now with COVID and everything. I
Mhm.
mean, I would never take that for granted because I mean, some people might not be able to have this, so it's definitely a blessing.
Take us to that first night. Who was the first person to call you and what time was it at?
I think it was Maryland. They called me probably around like 10:30 first night. Yeah.
Let's discuss Maryland a little bit. They're a program that has added a lot of big time talent recently. They've been putting together top 100 players now. What would it be like
All right.
being part of that?
I mean, it would definitely be good. They have a great organization, great coaching staff, and they definitely keep the players. They definitely get the players to the league as well. So I mean, they definitely have a great history too. So that would be good.
So, what are you looking for in a program? What's some of the things that a program must have for you to be interested in them?
Just pretty much going somewhere where I'm wanted. And just somewhere where it's kind of like a home. Pretty much, yeah.
How about a coach? I mean, that's something I think all guys look to as a priority. What's your dream coach? What's some of the characteristics you want in a coach?
Um, Definitely somebody that's kind of intense, but also it's been pretty much like a balance, but also someone that's gonna like get in you and tell you if you're doing something wrong or not.
Would you prefer maybe a more winning coach, a guy that's been around for a long time, or do you like
Oh
maybe more
yeah,
younger coaches?
it depends. Like if it's a new coach that's winning, then that would be good as well. So I mean, yeah,
So you basically want to make sure a coach is winning, has a winning program.
yeah, pretty much.
And hopefully, once this COVID stuff opens up, the saying in the new year, you guys can start doing business again. We'll see if that's true or not. But
Right.
how excited are you for that? Do you plan on going business right away?
I haven't really talked to my parents yet or my coaches, but I'll definitely be planning some visits.
No doubt. Let's talk about a couple other programs. One is the idea of just possibly staying closer to home. Would staying in the East Coast or even in Pennsylvania something that would interest you?
Definitely. I mean, if that's the right fit for me, I would definitely do it.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about Uconn, another program that's really been rebuilding and started to really get a lot more top players as well. Coach Sugar's done an incredible job out there. What do you like about Uconn?
I definitely like coach. He's very intense. He gets his player to play well for him. He definitely can push those buttons. They're definitely coming up on the rise. They're back in the Big East. In terms of a guard school, they're very their history on guards is very good. So yeah,
Auburn's another one. Coach Pearl is a coach that a lot of guys love. Some people don't always get along with him, but he's an incredible coach. He has great things done at Auburn so far. What do you like about them?
he's very intense as well. I mean, he lets his players play. They play hard, especially on the defensive end. And I mean, he's definitely a player's coach.
Alabama's another program that's really Coach Oates has gone in there now and has his first true recruiting class right now. Has a guy like Josh Primo, Alex, a lot of the big players. But for in terms of a guy like Josh, another guard, if he's able to get into the NBA in 1 or 2 years, does that make Alabama more appealing to you?
I mean, if any school has that type of potential to have a player to go into the league, that definitely like makes it better to like look at that school just in terms of if he's in your position as well.
Michigan's another one. There's something special about that. Coach Juwan Howard's a player's coach. He's played in the NBA before. He's
Right.
done what you want to do. When as a
Right.
coach is able to achieve what you ultimately want to do someday, does that stand out to you?
No, that definitely stands out to me. I mean, because he was in the shoes that I want to be in, so he has all the codes and everything for me to click.
How about just overall? I mean, if there's one player you could think of NBA history, either even maybe even playing today, if he decided to become a coach, who would kind of be a dream coach that was once a player?
Uh, that's kind of hard. I mean, he's already a coach now, but Penny, pretty much, yeah, Penny.
Let's talk about Memphis then a little bit. Coach Hardaway, I think that's something that's appealing. They're not necessarily in a quote unquote Power Five school, but Memphis is a contender. They're an elite program out there, and he's done an incredible job recruiting so far. What do you like about what Coach Hardaway's built out there in Memphis?
Oh, they're definitely coming up on the rise. I feel like they're big on skill development and just developing their players. Uh, they also have a couple players that are going to the league. Actually, Precious, he was here at Montverde, so I mean that's definitely a big sell.
Who would you say you're closest to on the Memphis staff?
Coach Cody Topper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's the guy that obviously has a lot of energy. He's the guy that all the players really like, one of the top recruiting coaches in the country. What's it like talking to him?
It's great talking to him. I mean, pretty much every time we talk or just text, he'll just be sending film on certain players that I'll ask to look at, or just even players that he feels like my game is similar to. So I mean, that's also great for me.
Let's go back a little bit. The first offer comes in for you. Take us to that day. What was it like learning that you're going to have your college paid for?
I mean, it was a blessing. I've been saying, it was definitely a blessing just for me to be able to go to a school for free, just playing basketball, a sport that I love. It was definitely great.
Who's the first person you told after you got that offer?
Probably I think I was with my dad actually when I got it. So yeah, my dad.
That's awesome. Now, as you've gone through this process, talking to more and more coaches, who would you say this call that you've got that was maybe the most surprising to you and maybe the most shocking to you?
Maybe more shocking. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like all of them because it's kind of new every time a new school calls. Cause like dang, like you answer the phone, they say how you doing, this coach, and it's like oh wow, like I would have never thought. So I mean yeah, pretty much all of them.
No, I think that's the huge thing. And you're going to have the same thing when you go to the NBA as well. Just that feeling that you've grown up watching these guys coach, you've grown up watching these teams play, and all of a sudden you're one of those guys that's going to have the opportunity to play there. What's it feel like to look at that and see that?
Nah, it's crazy because it's like I'm growing up and it's coming by fast. So just me getting ready for it, just knowing that I'm gonna be in them shoes in a couple years. So it's definitely something to think about.
You are in Florida now, and you have offers from Florida, Miami. Now staying in this new Florida area, do you like it out there? That's something you could see yourself possibly playing for one of the Florida schools?
No, definitely. If it's the right fit when it comes around, I would definitely do it. I mean, it's nice weather out here. Those are great programs with great coaches and great players coming out of their schools.
Couldn't agree more, man. Another one of those player coach we talked about earlier, Coach Patrick Ewing. What do you like about him?
Coach Pat, same thing with Coach Howard. He was definitely in them shoes that I want to be in. So he knows everything. Just he has all the secrets and all the things that maybe some other coaches don't have that he knows because he was in those shoes.
Now, a few more schools to talk about. Marquette's one of those, and they're another program that has been special, but primarily at the guard. We see what they just did with Marcus Howard, created maybe one of the best guards we've ever seen in college basketball. You see the history they've done with him. How much more appealing does that make them?
Oh, it definitely stands out because I mean, just watching Marcus and how they let him play and get his shots off, and him being an undersized guard, kind of it stands out to me because I mean I feel like I am kind of in the middle of being like a 6'4", 6'5" guard, so it definitely stands out because he was also a scorer, but he definitely playmaker as well, so that stands out.
Describe your game a little bit. We know you're a scorer. We know you can play make, but overall, how would you define your game?
Uh, I want to say I feel like I'm a pass first because I definitely like to pass, but when it's time to score, my scoring instincts will definitely take over. But also on the defensive side, I feel like I've been grown into a two-sided player because now, like more so, I would have to play against those top guys every day in and day out and day out. So I feel like I can handle myself pretty much on the defensive end and also lead on the defensive end.
When did you get that mentality? Some guys are born with it, but a lot of people take some time to develop that. When did you kind of realize and notice that you could have the ability to take over a game and you started doing that?
I'm not gonna say I was born with it, but it definitely came around in like middle school when certain times where I felt like I was deferring at the end of those games when I was told by either the coaches or my father that like, I should take over. So I mean I done it a couple times and I started to get comfortable with it. And when it's time for that to be done, I feel like I can do it.
Is there one moment specifically that you kind of remember you realizing, okay, this is going to be me. I'm going to be a highly ranked player?
It pretty much just happens. Like I mean, you always think about that, but I mean the work that you put in and just you showing it on the court, it pretty much just happens.
What about Howard, one of the most recent offers for you? And we know the whole momentum over the past 6 months or so, and now a Schumaker also going there. What's your thoughts on Howard?
It's definitely a good look. It would definitely be a good look just in terms for the coach and everything that's going on right now. Also, them being an HBCU school, I have a couple of siblings that went to those schools. So just talking with coach and talking with their staff, they're really intense and like they're really like trying to get their program to get up there just in terms of playing with those big D1 schools and getting those games. But I definitely feel like that would be a good look for college basketball.
And there always has been the HBCU schools now for a long time, but a lot of the top players haven't wanted to go there because it didn't have the platform. A lot of people were worried if they could still get to the NBA, but a guy like McCurr goes there now, and we see this momentum because everything's happened in the past 6 months. Is it a more realistic option than it was maybe a year ago?
Um, I would definitely say now more than a year ago, but it definitely was an option a year ago as well, but definitely more so now.
Gotcha. My last one I want to touch up on Indiana. It's another program that has got a lot of history behind them. We know there's a basketball city, basketball town. Playing in that kind of environment where you have the historical stuff behind them, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Just schools with that big history behind them. I mean, coming in, having that behind you, is something to play for, pretty much.
Out of all the schools that have yet to offer you but are still talking to you, who's showing the most interest?
Uh, Probably I talked to UNC a couple of times. Yeah, I talked to UNC a couple of times. Probably them.
Without a doubt. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One is AAU wise, wasn't the year you obviously dreamed of, but if you had an AAU season, what would you want to go out there and prove playing a team final?
Just to prove that I could coming off the year that I had because I had a good year, but I was labeled pretty much like a shooting guard, so I just wanted to prove that I could play the point guard, and that's my natural position.
Team USA wise, we mentioned a little bit earlier, but you've been invited to a lot of mini camps, I think 4 or 5 of them now. What are those environments like?
The environments are great. You're surrounded by great players, great staff, just like great mentors, and everything. Just you being on the Olympic campus is kind of the first time I went. It was kind of a shock. Just me seeing that on TV and just me being there. It was kind of something to like look forward to.
What was the craziest moment or your favorite memory from one of the camps so far?
Definitely just competing with all the guys. I mean, all the guys that you talk to or maybe even see, just competing with them all the time, like every day that you're there.
Off the court, you're a guy that values your academics highly. Why is that kind of so new? Why do you value academics so much?
I mean, you have to just. I mean, my parents wouldn't let that slide anyways either. But just having something to look for after basketball.
I think that's key because a lot of guys we hear have the stories of being a top player. They don't necessarily want to value the stuff off the court. They think it's also going to be an easy path to the NBA, and for some that is the case. But having parents have kind of kept you in line, kept you wanting to value academics, other things. How important to your development has it been?
It's been very important. Just having to balance basketball and academics. I mean, it's kind of a life lesson. Just having to not to be too heavy on one thing, but just to balance life out.
Is there a profession outside of the game of basketball you look into that you maybe interest you?
Um, Honestly, I used to do music when I was younger, but I kind of strayed away from it, just having to do basketball. But I mean, I haven't really thought about that. That's something that I definitely should think about.
No doubt. And we know with Chance Westry, you guys are pretty close friends. Kind of grew up
All right.
together, been around each other a lot growing up. What's your relation like with him?
Yeah, we're real close. Actually, I talked to him probably last week. We check up on each other pretty much like every other week. Um, just on how his situation is going out in Cali and how my situation is going, and just we just try to check up on each other.
You haven't necessarily played with him in terms of high school yet, but if there was an opportunity to play with each other in high school, college, even pro someday, would that be something you talk to him about?
No, actually, we haven't really talked about it. I mean, we talked about playing AU together or something like that, but
Hmm.
that's probably not gonna happen now. But just in terms of colleges, we haven't really talked about that yet.
You're from Pennsylvania. Basketball is elite out there. One of really the meccas of basketball. What's it been like playing basketball out there?
It's it definitely shaped my game. I feel like just in terms of being like a hard nosed player, it definitely took that shape, and also just like skill and the mentality, having that like go getter mentality.
What would you say kind of defines you? I mean, you talk about the mentality, but we hear that in New York, we hear that in New Jersey. What's the difference between all the different areas?
I feel like I mean it's a difference, but I would say more out in like Jersey and New York. I feel like they definitely like the skill is kind of different. I'm not gonna lie, it is because I kind of played before I went to team final. I kind of played in New York and Jersey,
Mhm.
like all my grassroots years. I think just in terms of like being out in New York and being out in Jersey, the skill was definitely like it was a little different. Like something was different.
Where would you rank Pennsylvania basketball across all other states in America?
I would definitely rate it top three.
Who's your top three then?
I feel like it's us. Uh, I feel like it's us, New York, and Cali.
Absolutely, man. One of the last things I was like wrapping up talking about is building a legacy for yourself, which is something I think all guys want to do. So when you are a step away from the game of basketball, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be?
Just I just want to be remembered as a great player and a great person. Well, mainly a great player, but like just being off the court as a great person, someone who's able to lead and yeah.
No doubt, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today. Best of luck this upcoming season, man, and keep doing your thing. Of
No, thank you. I appreciate it too.
course, man. You always welcome on. God bless.
You too.